Hey everybody, I promised that I would come and do one of my first live videos, and I want to talk today about your pain is what actually propels you into purpose. So I want to give a few minutes, welcome everybody that hopefully people can join. I know it's like the middle of the day and everybody's at work, but I want to give a few minutes, so if you have some comments or something that you want to make on some of the videos that I posted recently, please feel free to do that. Thank you for those of you who are sharing the videos. I really appreciate it. It is just God's blessing to be able to do them. So hope everyone again is having an awesome day and that you are just blessed and being a blessing. Feels kind of weird just sitting here waiting for people, but I guess that's what we do. Hi Bridget. Hi Christina. Hey John Pagan. Miss you. Haven't talked to you in a while. While we're waiting for others, I want to push some of the Bridget, she is out of New Jersey, and if you need some t-shirts, this pillows or whatever blinged out screen print, she's awesome at what she does. Please seek her out. Also, Christina Miner, she has a ministry, CM Ministries, and she also does a talent agency. So if you're looking to enhance your abilities, enhance some of the things that you know that God has called you to do in the direction of acting, please seek her out. Hi Tawanda. Tawanda, she and her daughter, they're doing an awesome company that is promoting the Malalan. You know, we are not always happy with the way that we look, but you know, when God gives us beautiful black skin, we need to appreciate it and we need to just love it. So seek her out. She has some great t-shirts. Hey Gary. Hi Tamika. Women of audacity, seek her out. You need to get some encouragement. Women, we all need to work together. We need to push each other. We need to make sure that we are just encouraging each other. All right, we have a great crowd. Hi Andrea, haven't seen you in a while. What we want to talk about today is that your pain is what actually pushes you into purpose. All of us, you know, we have some pain, we have some issues, we have some things that are going on in our lives. We have some stuff that we have covered up that we don't think anybody knows what it is that we've been through. I posted today a mask, and that mask dealt with everything that I have experienced in my life, whether it's from molestation as a teenager, whether it was becoming an alcoholic because I didn't know how to deal with the molestation, dealing with just becoming promiscuous, because all of that worked together in my mind, because I didn't know how to handle everything that I was going through. I walked around, everybody thought I was going, you know, I was just the perfect specimen. Everybody thought that I didn't have a care in the world, that, you know, I was just doing okay. I wore that mask because I was afraid of life. I wore that mask because it was easier to just have that mask rather than to deal with the situations that I was going through. The sad thing is that both of my parents died before I ever told them that I had been molested, which is sad because I was afraid of how they would judge me, how they would look at me, whether they would look at me different, whether they would say that it was my fault, or whether they feel that I provoked it, or I dressed in a certain way that was going to create this. You know, I was just afraid to tell anybody. I was an adult, probably within the last, I would say 5 to 7 years is when I finally started telling people about me being molested and what I experienced. So I wore all of that. You know, we sit in the pulpit Sunday after Sunday. Everybody thinks that you have it all together, and you are tore up from the floor up. And I tell people from the pulpit to the door, you don't know what somebody's going through. You don't know what somebody's dealing with. And I put that mask on because it was comfort. It was what gave me peace. It was what gave me, the ability to function. I was a functioning alcoholic. Nobody knew it because that was the only way I knew how to mask the pain that I was going through. And believe it or not, yep, that mask, if you look at it really good, it says suicide. I tried to kill myself. I wanted to die. I had no reason to live in my mind. I had no, I didn't feel like I had anybody. I didn't feel like, I had someone that I could talk to, someone that I could confide in. So it was easier to just end life. It was easier to just say, you know what? Enough is enough. I don't have to deal with this. I don't want to deal with this. But thanks be to God that he sent an angel my way. A 45-minute drive, he sent my mother out of the blue. And I got in the car with my mom and I began to get car sick, which always happened. And in the midst of getting car sick, everything that I had taken, all of that whole bottle of pills with that bottle of gin began to come up. And it was nobody but God who sent my mother to me on that day. And it was nobody but God that made me get in the car. God had a reason for me to be here. God had a reason. Even if I couldn't see it, I didn't understand why he was keeping me here. I didn't understand, I thought it was unfair, but God to keep me here in the midst of everything I was going through. And you know what? I went through it alone and didn't have to. I didn't have to go through anything I was dealing with by myself, but I felt like people were going to judge me. I felt like people were going to look at me a certain way and talk about me. You know how we do. We talk about each other instead of lifting each other up. We talk about each other instead of encouraging and say, you know what, girl, it's all right. Whatever you went through, I got your back. I'm going to be here for you. I didn't know I had that back then, and it just became so much of a burden, so much of a responsibility to carry that, carry that mask around. It was almost like carrying a suitcase full of just stuff over and over. But instead of carrying it in a suitcase, I was carrying it on my face, and it was weighing me down every single day. But thank you, God, that one day I woke up and I'm like, God, I can't do this anymore. I'm tired. I'm tired of pretending. I'm tired of wearing the mask. I'm tired of walking around and people think that they know who I am, but they really don't. I'm just tired. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I know most of us, if not all of us, can relate to that. We just get tired, but instead of confessing it, we just walk around and act like everything is okay. No, I was tired. And when you get tired and that tired, you ready to just let it go. And you just ready to let God have his way. And that's what happened. It became just a bearing on me so heavy that I was like, God, you know what? Here you go. Because I have tried to do everything that I know how to do on my own. I have tried to handle, covering it up. I've tried to handle everything through alcoholism. I tried to handle everything through being promiscuous. I tried to handle it trying to act like that I was, different than what I was. I had the lowest self-esteem ever, but I tried to hide it and I tried to handle it on my own. But you know what? When you say you're tired, God will take that burden from you. And he took it. And he allowed every single thing that I had been through, all of the pain, all of the hurt, all of the anguish, all of the misunderstandings, all of the hiding, the molestation. God took all of that and he began to take my pain. And you know how he says in the scripture that how potter sits at the wheel and how he begins to mold you and he begins to make you, and sometimes even at the wheel you'll mess up and you have to start all over again. And he had to start over again because I decided I wanted to step in and help him out a little bit. But he began to continue to mold me and to make me into where I am today. Am I perfect? Absolutely not. Do I still have flaws? Sure I do. Do I still have cracks in my vessel? Of course I do. I'm human. I will never do everything right. I will never, act like, that I'm better or bigger than where I am. But I'm thankful that every day God patches up those wounds. God patches up that pain. God makes you think that you can do and you can conquer anything. And I just want to encourage you. We need to stop hiding. We need to stop going behind that mask, putting it on every day like it's a cosmetic thing. We need to just walk in the pain, walk in the boldness that God has given us. Everybody has pain. Everybody has a struggle. Everybody has a trial, but you can overcome it if you choose to overcome it. You can be everything that God designed and called you to be, but you have to be willing to say, God, I surrender it all. Stop walking around acting like the woe is me, because the world has nothing to offer you. Only God can give you peace. Only God can give you the assurance that he has your back. Only God can give you the comfort that you need when you feel like everyone has turned their back on you. Only God can be there when everybody has walked away and those that you need to walk away. God gives you a comfort like none before. When your family forsakes you, your friends forsake you, God is right there. But God will also put angels around you that will walk with you, that will talk with you, that will encourage you, that will keep you on the right track. But you got to be able to discern those angels from the enemy, because the enemy will come and act like he's your best friend. The enemy will come and act like that, or he or she is your best friend, that they're walking with you and that they're encouraging you. But you have to use discernment to know what is right and what is wrong, who's for you and who's against you, because those that are for you, you're going to know it, because they're not going to judge you. They're not going to look at you in a way that, and start asking questions. They're not going to wonder why, or they're not going to talk about you. They're just going to love you right where you are. I am so happy God has placed such angels around me, because they keep me grounded. They let me know when I'm right and they let me know when I'm wrong. They hug me when I need a hug. They cry with me when I need someone to cry. They don't ask questions. They just know. Sometimes they just sit there. It's not for us to ask questions. Just be there. Be there for your sisters and your brothers. Be there and let them know, I got you. That's what God's assignment is for some of us. We all have respective assignments. You just got to know what yours is and walk in yours and not someone else's. And that's a part of learning who you are, learning where you are, learning, that it's okay to just be you. Stop trying to be what somebody else is. Stop trying to, just be something that you're not, that you weren't even called to be. So many people want to be, all up here and, be, I am the I am. Well, there's only one I am, and that's God. That's the only one that needs to be able to walk in your presence. That's the only one you need to be able to satisfy. Stop trying to satisfy man, because man cannot do anything for you. Yesterday we talked about Psalms 27. It says, the Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? That's the only person that you need to be concerned with. If you take it off and people are not sure who that is under the mask, it's okay, because God identifies you. Why does he identify you? Because he created you in his own image. He knows who you are. He knows every flaw we have. He knows every mistake that we're going to make even before we mistake it. That's why he gives us permissive will, because he knows we're going to mess up. He knows that we're going to do some things that aren't pleasing in his sight. But that doesn't mean he's not going to love us in spite of everything we do. Yeah, you got pain. Yeah, you got some mess going on. Yeah, you got some drama in your life. Yeah, things aren't going the way that you want them to go. Your marriages aren't going the way that they are. You're not able to do the things that you want to do when you feel like you're supposed to do them. We say some things that aren't timely, that God didn't tell us to say, who to say it to. We try to step above what God is doing. But I'm encouraging you, take the mask off. Walk in the pain that you have been given, because I guarantee you, when you start walking in the pain, God will begin to show you your purpose. Your purpose is to help someone else. That's what we all have the purpose to help someone else. We all have the purpose to go ye therefore and make disciples of his men. That means if God has allowed you to get out of your mess, that God is watching over you, that God is keeping you, then you need to do the same thing for somebody else. You need to encourage them that it's okay. You need to be there for one another. We don't know what tomorrow is going to hold. We don't know what's going to happen. But I promise you, if you trust God at his word, if you trust him and know that he has the plan in his hand, you know, the plan is already laid out for us. It's the Bible. He's given us the whole roadmap of everything that's going to happen in our lives. We just have to be willing to trust him. Part of trusting him is that you got to take off that mask. You got to recognize who you are. You have to accept who you are. You got to believe in who you are. You got to know who you are without a shadow of doubt. And most importantly, you have to know whose you are. Knowing whose you are will help you to be able to stand in the midst of the devil. Will be able to help you to stand when the enemy tries to tear you down. Will help you just be all that you can be in God's, you know, in his holy plan. I just want to encourage you again. Take off the mask. Know that your pain is your purpose. If you don't have any pain, how are you going to ever be able to define your purpose? If you never walk in what it is that you've been through and what you're going through, how are you going to be able to testify and tell anybody what God has done for you? Testimony is about what you have been through. It's not test a lie, what you think that you've been through, but what you've really been through, that you're going to be able to help somebody else know that God can bring me through it. If God can bring me out of abuse, if God can bring me out of addiction, if God can bring me out of, you know, just being hungry. And a lot of you don't know, I used to be homeless without being, you know, we had a place, but we were basically homeless. Every day I would stand when I took my ex-husband to work. I would stay in our storage shed because I didn't have a job. We had lost our home and I didn't know how I was going to make it. I would go in that storage shed every day and it was hot. And I would just pray and ask God for direction. I would just pray and ask God, you know, is there a better plan than this? It has to be something greater than what I'm seeing. You know, people see us and they see the well-dressed, or they see you look like you put together. They see, you know, that we're driving, but you don't know what somebody's going through. You don't know the pain that they're feeling. You don't know the disappointment and the discouragement that somebody's feeling. Nobody knew how bad it was, because every Sunday I showed up for church and I sat in that pulpit. I gave with tithes that I had. Every Wednesday I would teach Bible study, and nobody knew what I was going through, that I would drive over an hour every night just to get back and forth to church because I didn't have anywhere to live. We were staying with our parents, you know, back and forth from one house to the other. Nobody knows what you're going through because you continue to wear the mask and you continue to press your way. But I guarantee you, the moment that I said, God, I don't want to live like this. This is because I'm getting in the way of what you're doing. Yes, it was hard to let go of my marriage. It was hard to let go of my marriage. But because I trusted God, I don't put any fault on my ex-husband. I take every bit of the blame because it was me. It was me walking in a direction that God did not call for me because I wore the mask everybody else thought that I should do, that I should be married, or I should be this and I should be that. I put him in a position of uncertainty, and because I trusted God at the end, because I said, God, I don't want to do this anymore, because I surrendered it to God, I ended up with a home. I ended up with a job. And I thank God I ended up with a vehicle on my own in my name, not somebody else's. So God will do what he said that he's going to do if we trust him. You got to take everything that you've been through and know that your pain is your purpose. I can't minister to anybody out on the street had not I gone through all of those circumstances. I can't minister to any prostitute had not I lived a life that was full of promiscuity. And you know, for real, I basically was a prostitute. I did everything they did. I just had a place to go to at night, and I didn't tell anybody I was getting paid under the table. So we all have some skeletons in our closet. So I just want you to know, no matter what it is that you've done, what it is that you're doing, you can't help anybody until you're willing to talk about what it is that you're doing. You can't help anybody until you're willing to deal with yourself. Start looking at yourself in the mirror. Start looking at the things that are inscripted on your mask, the things that you got on the outside of the mask, and the things that you have underneath the mask that you think nobody knows and nobody sees. Start dealing with you and watch God begin to open some doors. Watch God begin to give opportunities that your mind can't even begin to fathom. Watch God begin to do some miraculous things in your life. If you're looking for love, remove the mask. I guarantee you God will send you that which he has for you. If you're looking for a job, remove the mask, and I guarantee you God will send you to the right place that will allow you to be able to be yourself and to minister to his people. Just trust God, and I promise you, God will open up the windows of heaven, because all he's waiting for us to do is to take off the mask so that we can utilize the pain that we've been through, and we can start walking in the purpose that he's called for us. I love you guys. I thank you for all of your comments. Thank you for just, hanging out with me on today. And yes, Kim, we had church on Friday. We just praise God for you all, and I love you and I appreciate you. I ask that you will continue to share the messages. It helps to be able to get it out there. I try to do only 1 minute when I do the messages, just to keep you all encouraged. It's not easy doing these messages because I am like beyond nervous, but I love all of you guys, and I thank you. Thank you, Christina. I love you. I appreciate you for just always being there, pushing me and telling me when I'm wrong. Each and every one of you. Help somebody else. When you're going out today, think about it. If you're not busy today, let me plug this in. We're going to be at Jeff Davis around 7 o'clock today. We're going to be on Jeff Davis. Frank Crump has blessed us with food that we're able to go out on a Friday and feed our brothers and feed our sisters who are out there. So if you're not busy this evening around 7 o'clock, we'll be on Jeff Davis around around 7 o'clock. We'll be right across the street from the City Motel in the parking lot beside the Chinese restaurant. Kim said to go live more often. I will do my best, Kim. I will try. Please keep me prayed up so that I will just be obedient. Thank you to AJ for last night's encouragement, for just helping to instruct us on the things that we need to do to make sure that we're reaching all of God's people. So I'm getting ready to sign out. Hey, Tony, please go back and look at the video once it ends. Love you, and you guys have a fabulous Friday. You need to have more information on it. If you want to help tonight, please hit me up, inbox me, and we will get you set up so that you can come out and hang out with us. Love you much. Bye.